Clausen family countdown to Christmas. December 25th, Christmas Day. Santa Parade. Christmas morning had finally come. The children slept soundly as Mom and Dad finished wrapping the last presents. Dad started a fire to warm the family room. Candles cast a warm glow in the morning light. Mom and Dad sat to enjoy a cup of coffee before the chaos of opening presents began. "The kids seem to enjoy the village this year," said Mom. "Your idea of adding a new villager each day made the countdown to Christmas a lot more fun," said Dad. As they talked about the village adventures, Molly and Cam wandered into the room. "Good morning, sleepyheads," said Mom. Rubbing their eyes, Molly and Cam climbed onto the sofa for morning snuggles. "I thought you would be tearing into Christmas presents by now," said Dad. Molly and Cam looked at the stacks of presents under the tree. The children were content to wake up slowly, wondering what surprises were hidden in the beautifully wrapped packages. Mom served cups of steaming cocoa and spiced apple muffins. It was a treat to have breakfast in the family room. The village glowed softly from the candlelight. "Can we turn on the village light?" asked Molly. "Of course," said Mom. "All the villagers are in place now." Molly and Cam stood quietly, looking at the village. Ella was on top of the church steeple where she was first placed. Lights were on in Granny's bakery, and they could see her figure inside. Yazda, the carousel horse, stood proudly near the red sleigh. The children smiled, thinking of the last 24 days of adventure in the village. "Too bad it's over," said Cam. "Just until next year," said Molly with a wink. "Let's open some presents," announced Dad. Wearing his favorite Santa hat, Dad passed Molly a large box wrapped in red foil paper. Opening the present, Molly gasped. "She's beautiful!" Molly held up a doll she had been hoping for. "I will name her Isabel," she said. Cam unwrapped a giant round box and held up a set of building blocks. The frenzy continued until all of the presents were opened. Games, trucks, coloring books, new clothes, and more filled the center of the room. Molly and Cam were very happy with the wonderful gifts, but there was some disappointment that Santa had not filled their wishes. "Maybe Santa didn't get our letters," said Cam. "There were so many letters in the giant mailbox. Ours may have been lost." Molly agreed, although she was still sad there was no puppy to greet her on Christmas morning. Cam had hoped there would be a new bike to ride when the snow melted. "Maybe next year," said Molly. "Let's have fun with what we did get." The children rummaged through their new toys and decided to build Isabel a cabin with Cam's building blocks. "The cabin reminds me of the cottage in the enchanted forest," said Molly. Just as they were putting the finishing touches on the cabin, there was a loud bang on the front porch. The banging and clattering continued with sudden yelping outside the door. The children sprang to their feet and rushed to see what the commotion was all about. Molly swung open the door, nearly hitting Cam in the face. There on the porch was a little yellow puppy tangled around a shiny new bike. The children squealed with delight. Mom and Dad came to help untangle the children's surprise. Dad released the puppy. Molly knelt to pick up the wriggling ball of fur. "I'm going to call him Murphy Joe," she announced. "That's a wonderful name," said Mom. Dad helped Cam untangle his new bike. "You can take a ride in the garage since there is too much snow on the sidewalk," he said. Molly and Cam were thrilled that Santa had received their letters. The children took Murphy Joe into the front yard to play. They ran through the deep snow, making traps for the puppy to follow. Murphy ran along the tracks, then started hopping like a rabbit to the side of the house. He stopped in front of the snowmen and started barking. Molly and Cam were close behind. "They are just snowmen," said Cam. Suddenly Gertie peeked around Scoop and honked at the barking dog. Molly picked up Murphy, thinking he might not win a fight against the feisty goose. "Gertie, what are you still doing here?" asked Molly. The goose continued honking frantically. Molly and Cam took Murphy away to calm Gertie. As they walked to the front porch, they heard the faint sound of drumming. The sound was coming their way. "What is that?" asked Cam. "Sounds like a band." Rounding the corner, the children spotted the little drummer boy. "Look, it's Christopher!" shouted Molly. Just behind him came Santa, stepping in beat with the drum, ringing his Christmas bell. "We're just in time for Santa's parade," said Mom as she and Dad joined them on the porch. Santa passed the house, giving a nod and a wink as he marched proudly behind Christopher. "Is that the end of the parade?" asked Molly. "It's just beginning. Look over there," said Dad. Marching around the corner was Casey, with Amy by his side. Mr. Corey, the postman, was next, walking alongside Sarah, the cowgirl. The villagers continued to parade past the Clausen house, waving to the children. Ella looked magnificent as she watched over little Emery, who sat on Timmy's shoulders. Raina walked alongside the toy maker. "There's my dragon, Peter," shouted Cam. "How can they all be here?" Molly turned to Mom and Dad. "We didn't put anything in the village this morning, so how did we get here?" she asked. With a smile, Mom answered, "Maybe it's the villagers who are here with us. Christmas is a time of magic." Molly and Cam waved as Sawyer, Alyssa, and Miss Alicia went by. Bringing up the rear was Deacon, pulling the red sleigh. Guided by Big Brad, the sleigh carried their beloved Granny. The sleigh stopped in front of the house. Brad jumped out to help Granny down. The children ran to greet her. Granny held them tight in her arms. Kissing Molly and Cam on the forehead, she whispered softly, "The magic of Christmas has brought us together, and you are my precious gifts." Granny climbed back into the sleigh. As it drove out of sight, they heard her say, "I will see you next year, and until then, in my dreams." Molly and Cam ran back to the porch. "All hearts come home for Christmas," said Mom. "We can't wait until next year," said the children. The end.